Everyone is speaking out against this. Jason Heyward is finishing up his minor league rehab assignment and could potentially be back on the San Diego Padres roster, but it does not seem like a ton of people are all that thrilled about it. Curious to know what you think. Here's what I think. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Padres Digest. I'm Christian Pedersen. Thanks for tuning in to the show where I just a random dude on the internet whine and opine about the Padres. If you could hit the subscribe button, it would be great. If not, no worries. Let's talk about Jason Heyward, who is Look, Jason Heyward is a better baseball player than I have ever or will ever be. And so calling for somebody's job to be cost or diminished or something like that, I get that I'm a hypocritical jerkwad on the internet. But we are a community dedicated to talking about the San Diego Padres. And right now, the two identifiable issues for the Padres have been left field and catcher. Those have been like the big, everybody could use a tune-up. Left field and catcher have been the biggest glaring issues there. Catcher, we often on the show talk about how there's that existential sort of, oh, well, they work well with the pitchers. Okay, fine. They're defensive dudes. Maybe we're fine with that being the one issue, but left field has been a big issue. Jason Heyward, on his second IL stint, is back in the minor leagues and is, for whatever reason, seems to be A.J. Preller or the powers that be's chosen, like, he's going to be our veteran guru dude who does defense and helps the clubhouse and yada, yada. And like initially there was this whole contingent of Yuli Gurriel and a couple other guys that they're like, we're going to have him. But now it's like Maldonado, old dude, not hitting. Heyward, old dude, not hitting. Iglesias, old dude, not really hitting, hitting okay. But where do you draw the line? And we can't seem to get rid of Heyward. Here's what Kevin Acee wrote in a recent article. And this is the first time that I have seen anything start to crack in the veneer of keeping Jason Heyward around. This is a recent article from Acee talking about the minor league rehab stint is not going well. And I want to have a conversation with you guys about do you think that bringing him back up does anything for the squad? Do you want him? Do you like him? Do you have a better solution? I get it. I shouldn't just be out here, right, calling for people's jobs, yada, yada, when I can't do what they are doing. It is hard to hit at the major league level. Sometimes there is a benefit to a veteran guy, but the 2 for 3 with his minimal slash line is going up against the Padres in the major leagues, starting to find a way to, I think, do okay in that left field platoon vibe. Gavin Sheets, despite being a baby giraffe on skates, defensively speaking, and an absolute liability on that front, is producing these offensive numbers. So left field, right field, you can hide some people out there sometimes at the major league level. Obviously, we would love Sheets to be able to just be our DH, but if we need to get him in, like, this dude can hit a little bit. Like, I'm okay. Like, these are numbers that I don't see. I'm fine with the mess of a defensive metrics in exchange for this being our versus right-handers, left-handed hitting part of the platoon numbers out there in left. The other one that we've got taking a lot of those at-bats is Brandon Lockridge. Obviously a step down offensive numbers-wise. The sample size for at-bats is a little bit different. Sheets has a lot more, so I bet that Lockridge would go up a couple of points and some power and some RB. Like, all of that goes up if he's getting more, if he has 30 to 60 more at-bats as of this point in this season. But those two guys are slashing better than Heyward has done at any point this season. So I think, like, we've obviously found a group that we can work with that was doing better than Heyward. So I, like, on that front, if we had one guy that was tearing it up and we were like, okay, Sheets is hitting that 270 clip and it's against a full lefty-righty thing, and then we've got a backup so we can put Heyward literally as man number 25 down at the bottom end of the roster and just be like you said, like, he's the old dude who's just like coaching up guys, keeping guys straight for, like, it's a long season. Like, there's a value to that perhaps. And maybe if we were in a scenario, like I said, where we had those guys, the like one fixed guy out there and left and didn't need a platoon. But right now we do need a platoon. Right now we can't, like, Sheets hits a lot better against righties than lefties. Lockridge is a nice little defensive addition. We don't have one guy who's just going to take all the hacks out there in left. And it seems like there is an unwillingness at the left or at the lower levels, left fielder wise, to put Terso or any of those guys out there for a permanent, we're going to call up the rookie and we're going to send him out there. Like, we've got Trenton Brooks. We've got these other dudes just kind of cycling in for a couple of days. Campy was like, the kind of Padres are just throwing stuff against the wall right now. And I am worried that part of that throwing stuff against the wall is going to be throwing Heyward out there for a third time. But then, like I said, seeing this quote, apologies, not this one. We are looking for the other quote, which I should not have things labeled Heyward quote and Heyward quote in my OBS here. But yeah, this is, like I said, this is the first time that I have seen it really published that there is an openness and willingness to not have Jason Heyward rejoin the San Diego Padres at the major league level, and just to move on from him as a veteran and tip your cap and say thank you very much. You join a long list of San Diego Padres who joined us for a cup of coffee at the end of an otherwise stellar career. Best of luck. I would love to see that. I would love for us to move on, if for no other reason than I think moving on from Heyward helps give us the clarity, at the very least, of knowing that we need a permanent fix because we have nothing solid in that platoon, because we have, like we said, a guy who's really a first base DH doing part of it and a Lockridge who's doing part of it. And removing the, Heyward's going to come back and help that out part can help maybe get upper management to focus in a little bit more on everything that's going on in terms of needing to find a fix for left field and get a little bit better perspective on how to get their head wrapped around all of that. And maybe I'm completely wrong, though. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think that bringing Heyward back and having him be the wise Jedi Master, grooming the outfielders to understand the game and the grind, like all of that, does all that stuff work for you? Do you like him as a defensive metric? Do you think that he's got one more big October push? Maybe some of you truly believe that. I think moving on from Heyward and saying, hey, like I said, look, it's great to have you, yada, yada, yada. Your jerseys will be a fun throwback someday. Bye. Is where I'm kind of at. And so I am curious, like I said, what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below. Also, though, who you think could be the left field fix. It seems to be an ever curious, opaque, no solution type of situation. So tons of fun to talk about all the hypotheticals and permutations on how we're going to fix the left field argument. And as I said, if you could hit the subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. Until next time, we will talk to you guys soon. Keep the faith, Padres fans.